Hi, my name is Charles. I'm a coach at the Consulting Academy. You're watching the introductory video to our behavioral interview series. I used to be a consultant that specialized in the fintech industry, working with emerging technologies like AI and blockchain and implementing them for my clients. However, aside from this, I have also screened hundreds of cover letters and resumes and helped many aspiring consultants reach the industry and firm of their choice. So for today's agenda, we have a couple of things that we need to cover. Number one, I'm going to tell you exactly why the behavioral interview is so important. Number two, I'm going to tell you a couple of the things that as an interviewer, I am looking for, and a couple of questions that will go with it. Besides understanding why the behavioral interview is so important, I will be walking through with you a couple of questions that the interviewer will be looking out for. I will give you a couple of examples and exactly how you could potentially approach them in the coming weeks. Remember that the behavioral interview is extremely important to any company. After all, they would like to know if you can bring something to their team, whether it's your joyous attitude, a wonderful conflict management process that you have, or just bringing a very positive vibe to the company. All of these are extremely important to the dynamics of any team. To give you an example, think about how much time you put into your college applications and essays. Or perhaps if you're an experienced hire, think about all the times that you've had to write an extensive cover letter for a firm that you really wanted to work at. All of this should indicate to you just how important the behavioral portion of any interview is. Take this time before an interview to really think about who you are, and remember, specifically, don't forget to think about the details that you would like to highlight to your interviewer that stands you out from the rest of the crowd. During this series, we will be figuring out exactly how you can display the best possible version of yourself. With regards to the content of a behavioral interview, remember, there are 5 things that an interviewer is looking out for. Number 1, what is your background? They'd like to know exactly who this person is. Who are you? Number 2, the resume. It is important to understand in detail all of the points on your resume. They are definitely going to ask very in-depth questions with regards to your work history or what you have done in university. Number 3, the interviewer would like to understand what your passions and goals are. Remember, consulting is not necessarily one of the easiest industries to get into or to remain in. There are a lot of challenges and setbacks that you may potentially face later. They'd like to understand exactly why consulting. And then, of course, they'd like to understand what your long-term goals are. More often than not, these consulting firms are trying to figure out if there's a longer-term future with you or how they can help meet your goals in the future and whether there's a good match. Number 4, your interviewer is trying to test your understanding of the industry. Remember, consulting is extremely broad. There are a lot of things that you could be doing. You could be doing strategy consulting. You could be working in technology consulting. Even within technology consulting, there are 101 different segments that you could be tackling, all the way from structural design, implementation, tech strategy, or you could be doing human resources consulting. It is important to understand what interests you and how you can add value to the team that you will be joining. Number 5, the interviewer is trying to notice if you have any red flags. Remember, the consulting industry is an extremely tough industry. There's no easy way to say it. You're going to be working on very complex issues with potentially some very demanding clients. Do you have a conflict management strategy for working with your team? How about when you get into conflict with your clients? Sometimes you have to tell them what is best for them, not necessarily what they want to hear. Do you bend your morals or ethics? That is a huge red flag. When you come under that pressure in a work environment, would you rise to the challenge or would you crack under the pressure? It's extremely important that an interviewer understands this before they hire you. A good interviewer will try to replicate a client situation as closely as possible during your interview process in order to replicate and give you a taste and understanding of exactly what the real world is like. Remember, there isn't one direction or one approach to these questions. It really depends on you, the individual. We at the Consulting Academy would like to tailor our approach to helping you showcase the very best version of yourself on interview day and any day. So in the next few videos, you'll learn more about these approaches and methodologies. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.